Okay, so in this video I'm going to start talking about how SipperViz can assign contents. I think this is one of the more useful functions of the program. This is something that uh, the Sipper can't automatically log and would be hard to manually do in Excel, or tedious at least. So what I'm talking about is telling the program when certain liquids are in certain tubes, basically. So if you knew in this experiment that water was always in the left tube and oxy was in the right up until late February, but then you switch the tubes, then this data would be kind of misleading because they're drinking radically different things in these two tubes at different times. So yeah, SipperViz, you can tell the program when certain contents were in each tube, and then it can create a continuous cumulative count for those drinks. So how do you do this? So the main thing is this assign contents window here, which you get at from this assign button. So the basic structure is you're going to there are these menus up here where you can select a start date and even an hour and an end date for when there were contents in certain tubes, and then you can label them as well. I think this popped up with names just because I hadn't cleared it from the last time I was testing this. But and the dates that should pop up should correspond to the file that was selected. So here there are the start date is on the 21st of February and the end date is March 4th. So let's say there's just one switch. Let's do it after about a week. So from the 21st to the 28th, let's say there was water in one tube and oxy in the other. I'm just going to hit add then, and then you'll see that pops up here with the start date, the end date, and what was in each tube. You can then let's just say that for the rest of the experiment, we just swap the tubes. So I'm going to switch the dates around and switch the content around, and then I'm going to move this end date till after the last date. So that's going to say that from the 28th until the 6th, there was oxy in the left tube and water in the right. So I'm just going to add that. Okay, so once things are in here, this is kind of the docket for what's going to get assigned to this file. And you could select more than one file if you want. I could go in here and say, oh, actually, I want to do the same for these ones. But most of these or both of these are outside of this window of dates for the most part, so nothing would happen. Okay, but back to this case. So you can delete these if you want. So this one I just added, I can delete and then add it again. You can also move their order. There is a precedence if you have multiple rows that are referencing the same dates. So, if I added this again, and maybe I switched these two around, then this one is going to be, this last row is going to be the one that takes precedence, and it's going to overwrite what was written in this row. But yeah, anyway, so yeah, once you're happy with this, you could add more if you wanted to. Just hit assign, and then you'll see that this contents pop up here. And you can double check when contents are assigned to a file without having to graph anything. If you do right click and show or edit file contents, or also Sipper's show edit file contents, then we'll pop up with the entries for that have been assigned for this file. And you can delete these and edit them and reassign things if you want. And then also you can save this file with the contents assigned. So I'm going to put this on the desktop and call it with content. Then I'm going to load that file. And then if you look here, you'll see that the contents are still part of this file. And if I show the contents, you'll see that they've been preserved. So this can be useful if you have like a long experiment or one experiment with lots of changes in the content. If you do this once and get it right, you can just save the file and then not have to do it again. Okay, so that's the basics of just assigning the content. I guess one last thing is if you want to get rid of content that you've assigned, you can right-click and do clear contents, and then they'll go away. You can also do Sipper's clear contents. Okay, so that's it for just the basics of assigning them. Next video we'll get into the basics of how you can make plots showing these contents that you've assigned now.